Hello guys, my name is Primal and today we're gonna have a look at Temple of the Jade Serpent. I'm gonna play as a tank, but I will try to explain every other role as much as I can. We start off by pulling all the mobs down to the first boss room and airing them down. The only thing you need to be aware of on this trash is that when the elementals die, they leave behind a pool of water, which is dealing a lot of damage to whoever stands inside of it. So range should keep the distance and melee should be ready to move out. You can see on the screen now, it's the sparkling blue stuff, and it's giving a lot of damage, so don't stand inside of it. What we also do is that when the big ones die, we take the smaller ones up to the boss and AoE them down there, since you have a lot of spare time at the boss. This boss is very easy and you don't really have that much to do a lot of the time. They'll spawn 4 ads. They have the same abilities as the trash you just killed. They leave behind a pool and they spawn small ads. So when the bigger ad, the elemental, is getting low on health, we take him out of the group and kill him so we don't get the pool on top of ourselves. After that's done, I move in quickly again because the boss is dealing a lot of damage to whoever is too far away from him. So you'll need to stay pretty close to not getting hit by his... I don't really know what the spell is called, but it's a spell that's giving a lot of damage, and that's reason enough to not stand so far out. And this is just going on 4 times, and then the boss will change phase. Sometimes it happens that the mob dies inside the group. However, that is survivable. You just need to move out really quickly. Yeah. And the reason why that could happen would be because someone is frost novaing or stunning with like a rogue having paralyzing poison or something like that, and then it gets stunned and dies, and yeah. It happens and you just have to deal with it as good as you can. This is not one of our best challengement runs. This is, I think it's our fifth character we're doing it on. So no of us is really good at the class we're playing. We're decent, but not something to be proud of. So yeah, that's the reason also we are not dealing that much damage, don't have that much time and stuff. However, we do also fail a lot in here, and you'll see that later. But we managed to get in on gold, and that's the most important thing. You can see that pool there was pretty close to the group. However, we just move a little bit back, and the problem is solved. Now for the second phase, you will start off by using a spell called Bubble Burst, which push everyone away from him if you're too close to him, so stand far away from him when he uses that. And after that he will start spinning around and using this beam of water. There's 2 tactics. One is to avoid it and just run around with him, and the other is stacking up and taking the damage and making the healer heal it. That might be a better tactic if you have a lot of range DPS, but we just decided to just go around because that's what we're used to, and that's just better to keep doing if you're best at that. After the boss dies, you'll get a movement speed buff, which is good if you can get up there before it runs out. It's really great because next part we're going to use the invisibility potion, and you know, if you have a mage, he's going to use invisibility. So yeah, a little bit of movement speed would be nice. However, we have a druid and a hunter, so we don't really need that much. So yeah, you see we're stacking up for Stampeding Roar, getting ready. However, somehow someone managed to pull the mobs here, which was pretty bad. We almost died, but we did not. So you can see here on the bridge, I'll start off by pulling them before everyone else, because I'm at the tank. And then we just started down. Now you can see like 5 seconds there are gonna come a lot of ads, and they're gonna silence, and that's really bad when you are in challenge mode because you're dying really quick as a tank. You can see that they come. Also, a very important fact in challenge mode is having a lot of stuns and CC wall with you, because that will help a lot. And also a very important thing is to remember to interrupt. And as a tank, it's very important to know when you use defensives, cooldowns, and also when to use defensive attacks and defensive or offensive attacks for more DPS, you know. So yeah. It took us a bit behind on the time, but however it also made us able to skip some mobs later on. I will tell you when that's happening. It's just right before the last boss. You can do a trick if you have a hunter, which we do. I'll also show you that if you want to save some time at that point. On the next boss, there will always be two guys. In Heroic, it changed between two bosses. Here, it just the same one every time. It's these two guys who get stacked when you attack them, and they shall not reach 10 stacks, and if they do, they will get immune to all damage for 15 seconds. That's really bad. So what we did was we started on the left one, and then we switched when the boss reached 6 stacks. What we also do here for the healer, which make it easier for him to heal, is stacking in between the two bosses. I don't know if it do that much for a druid, but we just did it. We used to do that, so yeah. You see 6 stacks, we switch. And it really doesn't matter if you get 8 or something, as long as you get to switch in time and get over, so it doesn't get 10. If it gets 10, it's really bad. So really try to avoid that. Also, if the boss is getting down at about 20% health, you should think about nuking him down, but if you can't reach it and kill it before it reaches 10 stacks, you should definitely not do it and not try if you're not sure, because that will set you so much behind on time. You can see here we get to do it, and I think the boss is reaching 8 stacks at some point. Doesn't matter as long as it doesn't get 10, and we are certain that it won't happen. If it does happen, it's normally a reset, because it's just very much a waste of time. There's not much to tell about these bosses. It's pretty simple if you just do it right, and if you don't, it fucks you really much up. So yeah. Now I'm going to get some difficult ads. In my opinion, these are some of the hardest one in this challenge mode. Take 2 packs, that's what we can manage. Take 1 if you can manage 2. These mobs will silence and also cast a debuff, which reduce damage dealt by 25%, I think it is. So stuns and interrupts is important on these. I think it's only the small ones who silences, so they die first. That's not the hard part. The hard part is not getting too much, because if you get too many of these, they will cast the spell, and if you're not interrupted, cast the spell so fast that the healer cannot dispel it, and that will wipe you, because people are not killing them in time, or the healer can't keep the tank up. You will see here, this is pretty smooth. However, I could figure some groups would not manage to take 2 here because of, I don't know, the druid is pretty good against CC and stuff like that because of the HOTS. If you have another kind of healer or yeah, another kind of setup, it might be harder to do this. Here you can see the boss here. The only thing you need to be aware of on this boss is the waves, at least in this phase. There's gonna spawn 4 waves. They're very easy to avoid. You can see them here. It's just these fiery waves. They're damaging a lot. Just avoid them. It's very easy to do that. Yeah. If one of our party members dies here, it's not a big deal as long as you are ready to combat res and stuff like that. And also in the phase when she switched to become a dragon, you need to be aware of she will not be able to take dots on her in that duration. The first 3 seconds I think it is, not the whole time. So yeah, just don't use flame shock at that time, and also be aware that the tank might get a hard time to get aggro at that time. I don't know if the dragon actually can't get aggro, or it was just because it paired me this time. Yeah, it's just a bit annoying. I think it's a bug. After we kill the dragon, there are 3 ads. We get the hunter to pull them using the Terrans, and then feign death to get them to reset. After you've done that, you go to the boss and just begin the fight. We could only do this because we had killed that many mobs before because of the ninja ball. That was what I was talking about before. So yeah, that's a little tip. You cannot do it with rogues or shadow meld because the mobs have stealth detection, so it's only with the hunter you could be able to do it. Or if you get a warlock to run in with a soul stone and then dies and then rests himself after that. On this boss, it's actually pretty simple. There's a debuff, you need to dispel the healer. Very simple, just dispel it as soon as you see it. And then there's these phases in between where the boss is making copies of yourself, and those and you need to kill those. What we do is stacking up, so the copies is stacking up as well, and then we AoE them down really quickly. It's really simple. And you can see here I'm gonna mark myself up with a icon so my group can know where to stack. Better late than never. Yeah, and if we didn't use the little hunt trick there, I don't think we would have done it in time. So that's a really good little tip for this challenge mode, Temple of the Jade Serpent. Yeah, there's a lot of small tags you can use in every single challenge mode that will help you. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, remember to make a thumbs up. If not, thumbs down. Have a nice evening or afternoon or whatever the time is where you are. Bye.